Want to be a ruler, because the idea of a ruler was, it looked like they was the deep shit. We had people that was across from us around the world that wanted to rule it all, that wanted to control it all, that wanted to capitalize versus care about the nature. They said we're going to capitalize off nature instead of care about nature. And these are the people who we are now in 20 something 2022. We now saying, hey, we
In Africa.
lost. We've always been the ones who decided not to capitalize. Like the brother said earlier, he about to make a whole thing with him and Gohan where they're going to be damn near getting close to nature. The way that people used to do it back in the day. They're trying to open up some shit to get you to come be more in tune with your true self. These are the people who we would have been in the past. The Moors weren't trying to be in tune with nature and tune with their true self. They just knew how to travel them ships, but they was going to fight war. That's not what nature do. And with that being said, I'm gonna pass the mic to Human. What's up with you, Human?
Yo, I was just reading this book that I stole from the library by me, and I say that proudly because, it's no like mystery that the Vatican keeps like a lot of things and hidden in their like underground to and like so a lot of information gets left out of our like indoctrinated system in our institutions and stuff like that. And this is a book that I came by in the library, and I got you get fined at the library, when you steal a book from there and this and that. But I took this proudly because I think I missed this part in our history books, like in our history classes, because I never, did we learn about the East India Company in school?
Hell no, never heard of it.
Yeah, and then when I went into like this Moorish science temple, right, to talk about this part, I got an answer like it's a fairy tale. So, it's
Of
like
course.
parts, right, it's like parts of our history is like just left out because it's a fairy tale now to you, so we are not allowed to talk about facts because you want to
But
give us a piece of a fairy tale, but we're not allowed to have facts about our history
see
and
what
stuff.
make this, what make that important is this. If we point out and we say Holocaust is a fairy tale, we anti-Semitic. But if they say our shit is fairy
Right.
tale, we just gotta accept it. No, motherfucker, you anti East Indian, motherfucker.
Right. Yeah.
But also that book, I don't know nothing about that book, but right there on the front is a big
Yeah.
old ship. So it
Right.
shows
Right.
you that these motherfuckers was traveling the waters. Like
Yeah.
this was a thing in the past. It's just that a lot of us, and it's not to say that all the people, because when I say that, I pinned the comment that we were basically the slave bloodline and not the rules, the kings and queens.
Well, what I got from this book,
Go ahead.
for real, like the gist of it is like that we're all being pushed to become an enterprise and a corporation because it holds more weight in court than a living person really does. So if as long as you have an LLC or a corporation attached to you, which they're all aiming us to become now, so we are a living person, but really to me it means the opposite. When you become an LLC and a corporation, you're becoming dead because
Fact.
you're becoming incorporated to their system. So
Fact, sister.
The 14th Amendment really holds no weight in court. And since then, law has really gone downhill, and we pray to a Bible, that lies to us, just like our institutions lies to us because, like,
But see, check this out,
the
human.
Bible,
Check this out.
yeah,
The thing about incorporating, because that's fire. The incorporation, like we're choosing to be dead, basically. We're choosing to die, suicide.
yeah, this world. Yeah, go ahead. Let me let you finish.
But but the thing that make it so deep and important is this. Like you said, they're trying to push it. They trying to push it to where we could become a LLC. We trying to do this. They're
Mhm.
literally giving us certain paperworks and packages so we can low key be one of them, low key rule over the other
But
masses who don't know.
when we don't become an LLC or a corporation, we're still find ourselves working for
Right.
um the government basically. So because there's a military and UCC law that so those are the we live in a government military law, and a UCC law is all the countries being in cahoots with each other. So they pass they pass the money around the whole world. And we live in a draconian tax system world. So all the money is from the Guillaume. That's when the Jesuits come in, and all of that.
But one
But
of the
I wanted to
things
read.
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
let you say, I'm gonna let you read that, but I'm gonna say this one part.
Yeah, yeah.
With the sovereignty and the LLC, the thing
Hmm.
about that is, yeah, it will help us and benefit us in the business realm where we don't have to, pay certain whatever that certain people would normally have to pay or whatever. We might get certain benefits basically. Yeah, that would work. And I wouldn't knock nobody for doing that because technically, if we didn't want no beef with the government and we wanted to just start our own shit, that would be one of the ways to go. But we would still be a part of the system. So me personally, I think sovereignty is just to know you're sovereign and to claim it. It ain't to go get no paperwork behind it. It ain't to go sign this paper for them to identify you as that. Bitch, you
Ab-
gonna identify me as that because I
Can I
say that's
edify
what I
it?
am.
Can I
no,
edify what you just
that's
said
fire.
for
That's
a second?
fire.
Go ahead, bro. And then after you, human, you get to read your thing.
Yeah, it's like free energy engineering applications for children's development. 7 years old, they can step right into learning electromagnetism, learning how ether, gas, and the universe works at an early age. Stop indoctrinating your children in your lesser schools and teach them to go within and integrate them with sacred medicine the same way the indigenous tribes have been doing it for aeons. Dare I say it's already written in anthropology and archaeology. You don't even
But
need a
see, but let
to
me let
tell
me
you.
cut you off real quick. It says claim it but not get tricked in court. And after I say this, I'm gonna let Huma go because I don't want to take too long. See, this the thing about what I mean by servant sovereignty, just claiming it. Because I'm not going to court. What am I going to your court for? I paid you for this land. That's it. What you want to talk about? And why we got to go all the way over there to talk about it? I'm right here. This is where I stay. I'm not going. If you want to have something to say to me, say it right here. If you're not going to say it right here, I'm not going to talk to you once you leave from here. And if you come back with that bullshit, you're trespassing now. They can do it to you, but you can't do it to them. No, you can. It's just that if you want to play their game, you got to play it right. But I don't want to play your game because I'm not playing. This is motherfucking real life. This ain't no, hey, paperwork and who the fuck you think you is? The earth don't come with that. Souls and humans don't come with paperwork. So you're not going to use that to sway me out of nothing in nature. Fuck you and your system. Okay, go ahead, human. You
All
mute.
right.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
my bad. Yeah, I was mute. But I was just saying, like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, fuck all the paperwork. We are sovereign in our own power. You need to claim it in your spirit because you've been sovereign before you came here. So, yeah, the paperwork is, for us to bring the truth out, and it's for proof, and it's in numbers and shit like that. So I just want to say in 1868, we were made debt slaves to that was happening
Yeah.
in 1868. I think numbers is important, like to know exactly to pinpoint, a certain thing.
I agree, though. I agree. I agree. My
So
only problem with it is that if you write it down on paper to prove it, somebody
yeah,
can write it down on paper to disprove it.
yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
But go
Because
ahead. Go ahead.
no, I'm saying like this is all like a fairy tale to to some folks, and it the color of your skin don't matter to your own brother next to you can um do something harmful to you. It
That,
doesn't matter the color of your skin because it matters, your sovereignty, your solitude, what you have
Right.
inside is more valuable than, you know, what we have outside. And it's invaluable also because it's priceless, you know, like you can't put a
That's a fact.
tag on something like that.
That's like when you say that, that make me think of the child soldiers in Africa.
Yeah.
They not getting colonized by white people to become child soldiers. It's African rulers that come to their village and they will slaughter everybody in the village who fight back or run. And if you a kid, they'll make you kill your parents.
Yeah.
The reason why I say that is because they black. So if they was thinking about the skin color shit in Africa like that, they would be so heartbroken because they like, oh, these people black like me, they coming to the village because they finna share some food or something. Nope. All
Oh,
of
that's
us are
so deep.
poor and hungry. They all poor and hungry, but they do not give a fuck. They about to make you be a warrior for them so they can go colonize other villages and lands.
It's
But
no Go
go
ahead.
ahead, sister,
No,
go
but
ahead.
I was gonna say it's no different than what like today's world, like how women are prostituted and they're given up, you know, for they're debt slaves to their men, you know, to can I have money? Can I have money? You know, and they can't be on
Damn.
their own because they need company, you know. They
And
need
that's what
somebody.
they call that sex. What what's the big ring sex ring shit?
Sex rings, yeah,
You know,
pedophile
the
rings.
the
You know,
pedo ring, and then you know how they not just the pedo ring, but the sex slaves.
yeah,
That's
and
kind of like on a
I
little
would
scale
also
with the
associate
pimps.
that
Go
with the
ahead.
government. I would associate that with the government also
Yeah, and the
because
reason why I say
they
that is
let
because
that happen.
the pimps got a little tiny form of it in a little. It's just a small organized part of it, and they
Yeah,
just got it on the bigger ring. Go ahead.
exactly. And then that trickles down to religion, and then the religion aspect, like they help them like get therapy, so they all become into it in a
Right.
little in a way, some way or form, you know. And that's facts. Like that's just something you can't like,
And
you know,
they black
censor.
too. The pimp
Hey,
is black, and he's slapping the black woman, saying, "Ho, go get my money." And he'll do it to white women too, but excuse me. But the fact that he's black shows that it doesn't matter about whether you black
Right.
or white when it comes to this oppression, when it comes to this shit. Because your
Yeah.
brother, like you said, your brother right beside you can put you under the bus.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I know you wanted to read something from the thing, though. I know you want to teach us about the book, though. Come on, talk to us.
I just
What they said was mythology or fake? What you say?
this fact that we don't know, like that India has a lot to do with like the spices and where we get our you know, like the wars in military are caused by them taking our natural resources, and this book is all about that. It's like basically about the pirates of the Caribbean, you know, and the ships that are missing. It went down in the Bermuda Triangle, like in a whirlpool, so you can't trace these ships back, but they are made from little children in Bangladesh and in Southeast Asia. And back then, everything was more close together. We didn't have a Pangea effect where everything was split up, like in crosses and stuff like that.
Now check this out.
Yeah,
I dislike, and I like it and I don't like it. I like the
right.
fact that it's there, the knowledge is there. I don't like the fact that they had the child workers.
You're
Like, it's
right.
not to say that having a child working is a bad thing, but
So this is
the
how
way that they was doing it was kind of shitty.
it's
Just like China and shit.
deceitful. It's deceitful because they found a bunch of kids like playing, right? And in ships and gathering information on their own, just playing. They're just playing. And then they saw these older, you know, men
In Africa is
in the ships and then said, you know, why don't we get these moving again? Instead, they gave these kids incentives and then got them to build the whole ships for,
Like
you
when
know,
you think about America, one of the dudes posted, one of the dudes had a comment and I posted it, I pinned it, but it ain't up there no more. But he said we need to thank some of those white people for the way we living right now, because if it wasn't for them, or you know, whoever you can say, if you want to call them white, black, whoever, the ones in power, although they may be oppressing us, look at the differences. Them kids are being put into fucking sweatshops and shit. Our
Right.
kids at least get to go to indoctrination camp, at least get to go to school. They don't gotta sit there and damn near die with certain chemicals because they working fucking full-time jobs like adults. Our
Right.
kids got it good. We got it good over here versus them. Now, it ain't to say we still ain't got no bullshit, because we definitely do. And we definitely, our kids are getting targeted by the pedos and organ harvesters and all type of weird shit over here. But I'm pretty sure they doing it over there, and it's probably even open out there. You can't even stop a nigga cutting open a kid if you see him out there, probably.
So, you know, that goes into like these ships, like they became like corporations because they got so much revenue from around the world. They got so much people putting in money, like stock, you know, like into these ships and these employees and stuff like that to build them. So, I just want to read this part, I guess. Founding of the Great East India Company, which was to become the most powerful company in the world has ever known. Sorry if I'm my camera and my voice. Just listen to my voice. Was a typical expression of its time. Various forces coming together had brought it into being by decree from the Church of in Rome. The extra European world had been divided between Spain and Portugal, but Europe was in a ferment of rising capitalism. Companies of merchants had been formed to develop trade. The Dutch were particularly active and had rounded the Cape. They had made contact with the archipelago of the Southeast Asia. The whole area around the Indian Ocean had been considered the preserve of Portugal. The Portugal was now a satellite of Spain. So when you say satellite of Spain, it means they relocated and Spain and Portugal are the same, but they live in two different areas.
Right.
In the West, 15 years before, an Englishman had actually attempted to found a colony in North America. Now they're talking about Columbus now.
Exactly.
The Englishman had actually attempted to found a colony in North America, that's Columbus, to which the Spanish laid claim, but the Spain had been defeated at the Armada in 1588. Armada is another ship, probably. Perhaps most important of all, Philip II, king of both Spain and Portugal, the most powerful ruler in the world, had died in 1598. So that was his first death. Like, you know, King Philip.
Let me stop you real quick, because I just had a download. One of the things I'm realizing is a lot of the identity shit that we're claiming is the colonizers.
Yes.
Niggas want to be Hebrew Israelites. They want to be the Jews. All of them niggas colonized the natural people, the native people.
Yeah, they're just going by a timeline. They're following a timeline. Like the Bible is a bloodline, like of the first Aten, of the first Atum, or this first Muta. So even all the fire signs like Aries, Sagittarius, all of these fire men are like following a blood patriarchal line.
Facts. Because how many people, even in today's time, even though they love Kanye or Trump, whoever, it ain't people that's out there on their own building fucking life-size statues of these people.
Yeah,
they're not even really building toys of them people for real. So why in the hell do we think that back in the day, Egyptian ruler would have had so many people that just love him so much?
That's so interesting that you said toys, because toys actually started a lot of this overpopulation. And it said somebody in the comments. I say that because it's facts. Because hold on one second.
And then, okay, well, she said, hold on, lace me with sugar. Why do you say many men? What you say that for?
All right, somebody in the comments said no women. Somebody in the comments said no women. And That's true because they don't trace back the women ancestry lines, and they trace back the men ancestry lines. Not to make this about
That's
feminist
true.
women.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But one of the things as well is, uh, I would say there were women colonizers though, because there were women like women warriors and shit, women who queens that were ruling shit, and they were, yo, some of the queens were fucking more savage than the men. If you look at the
Yeah,
research, they'll show you how some of them queens would kill fucking big ass armies they would have never expected a fucking man or nobody to do. Go ahead, bro.
berserker Vikings, facts, and they would be on the mushrooms too. So they would like be one with the universe. So they would like, be faster, more sharp, the acuity, the instinct to defend and
But
fight and sprawl
see,
and
people
jump.
say women are strong. I mean, men are stronger. I don't believe that. I think it just depends on what you do. If you, I believe that there's women who are
Bro, I've
stronger
seen
than
women,
some men.
not to interject, but I've seen women, purple belt women in jiu-jitsu just take on 205-pound testosterone juice-filled guys and take their arm home like it's nothing. Because it gets to a degree of martial arts and it gets to a certain application that it becomes, you separate yourself and there's a real, there's a real skill set behind it. For every level, there's a new tool.
Right.
So
It's the finesse of it. The thing about that is, I think real when we say men are stronger, and we say, well, it's about the muscle, the physical. Nah, I think it's really about the brute strength, how we can try to exert a force real quick, real hard. I think that's really what they talking about. And even then, women can go harder than us with that sometimes too. So it's more so like a balance. It's neutral. If a man work out harder than that woman in the occasion, he'll be stronger, and vice versa. Go ahead, Human.
No, I was gonna say like I am saying that Queen Elizabeth after she took over Queen Victoria in this book, like they explain like her how she took over for the natural resources, you know, like she found that to be more powerful. She needed those to stay alive. And that's what Queen Elizabeth, like she tried to stay alive too much, so that's why she was into organ harvesting and
Oh,
death rituals and stuff like that, because it trickled down into religious aspects of, you know, and too much pride, having too much pride in who you are and stuff like that. So that's why it didn't. They all still followed a matriarchal Saturn system, a Saturn hex system, but it didn't work. It doesn't work. Like
hey,
it was a
sister, would you say that there would be like the reptilians, like that would their soul complex be?
yeah, it turns into an Archon reptilian system because if she's taking on blood, she's doing blood transfusion, so she's taking on somebody else's blood to stay alive. So she really has been dead for a long time, but she just pronounced
ooh,
dead
damn.
recently, you know. She's
That's
just pronounced
fucking
dead,
deep.
you know. Her
Yo,
body
that's so deep, bro. Hold on. Damn,
for
that
a long
shit
time, you
deep.
know.
What
She
about
been
eating
dead, though, nigga.
animals as
Like,
well? Like
She's
eating the
finally
animals.
dead now. Like she's not doing blood transfusions. She's not shapeshifting anymore. That's what they mean by like her shapeshifting is that she did so many blood transfusions and her organs, her liver done got transplanted, her heart got transplanted, her knees then been transplanted. You know,
that,
how many more transplants can you get? Same with that other guy like Stephen Hawking's and stuff. Like how long does it take to be alive? You know,
but
like
no,
how
even deeper, even deeper. If you drinking all of these different bloods and all of these different organs is in your body and da 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 da, and this so-called rejuvenating the life of this vessel, then who even are you anymore?
right.
That's not your
Oh,
blood.
you gotta
That's
apply
not
it to
even your
animals too, though.
right. Like
You're taking
that's not your body no more.
exactly, bro. That's like sick. Like, you
You're
know,
shape shifted. You are somebody else.
you eating, that's what I'm saying. Like, how can you do blood transfusions if that if you have an advanced directive for a machine to keep you alive, that's like you're taking on somebody else's blood essence to stay alive, you know? That's what you're saying.
Facts. Fact. And even with, like they said, with the eating the meat, that like it was specifically like the bloody type meats and shit. You're literally, because you are what you eat. So if you don't just eat it and you just transplant they whole fucking organ into your body, now that's somebody else's with a whole different makeup of DNA pumping in your body, mixing your DNA with their DNA, and then you get another one, and it's a fucking chimera of a human being now, just so you can continue to live with a crown on your head. You don't even do shit.
Right. That's
You
why
just
that
live your
crown.
fucking. Go ahead. I'm gonna
No,
go
no,
in.
you're
I'm gonna
going
go
in.
in
You're
the
going
fucking
in.
elite.
You're going in. You're
You're
going
going
in.
in there.
I don't even want to stop you. But yeah, I was just gonna say like capitalism and communism work hand in hand together. They're like the backbone of each other. You know, they're like the 6-9 yin yang energy. Like everything has a belly of the beast to the upside down world. You know, so it's capitalism and communism go hand in hand together, just like military and the UCC law, like they going together.
That's facts. And
Uh,
but and see, why do people think one of the things too, with the drinking the blood shit? People, it's not just that these people are just sickos. This is what they religion and they God want. Now, of course, we know that there's a mindset that a man made when he wrote down this what the God want. That was what he wanted for real. But this is who they follow. Whether or not they actually believe it's a God or not, they follow this ritual. And so, like, this shit, it kind of shows you the religious part of it. Like,
it
because
shows
I want
you
to keep
who's in charge of us, like, you know.
that too. But it shows you their mind. It shows you what what they value. Because why is it that she, like I said, she didn't do nothing. She sat in the throne and sat in the car rolling around, like she didn't write, she
So,
didn't do speeches.
bro, you know all these like death rituals that happen. I think it still trickles down to the Vatican and keeping their bloodlines alive. Like I think
Yeah,
like organs are being harvested or their blood is being harvested into going into somebody else and helping another a pale person stay alive. You know, not to bring colorism into it, but you know, like that's the reality of
but I
things.
mean, if you dead, you pale as fuck anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying is like when you're becoming dead, like it could be a pale. That's why I said pale person versus like anything else because
Right.
you know
Because
when you
now, see, my question though is this: although we know that there are like elitist organizations that are black, like the Boule, are there people that's like the Pope, just black?
yeah, exactly, yeah, priestly class.
Is like, is there a real black
The,
Pope? Because
the
I've
people
heard
at the
of the
bottom,
black Pope, but he's white.
yeah, the people at the bottom are the people at the top. They just don't. Some of them don't realize it, and some of them realize it.
No,
Like
but
you know,
the reason why I say that is because although we know like Queen Elizabeth and all of them people, they're like Spaniard or white or some shit, whatever they are,
yeah,
European descent, whatever. I'm
right.
trying to figure out if there are people that's like melanated black people who in that same like
Well,
elitist
yeah,
sick type shit, but he just
yeah.
black.
Yeah, yes, because the Pope bowed down to a African spirituality. The Yoruba
Yeah.
African spirituality was at the Vatican this whole time, so they were behind the Pope. So they actually controlled him and his spirituality. He couldn't stay alive. They kept him alive and they ruled through him.
Damn. So was it that he was doing the rituals they, because there is some African rituals where they cut the goat throat and they'll drink their blood. They do
Yeah,
got some little weird shit like that.
they do a lot of animal and then trickles down to child sacrificing and then they blame it on the Americans. The Africans blame it on the Americans after they done their voodoo and their hoodoo and stuff.
Right. Facts. Okay. Facts. I need to do
Africa is starting.
So, like, what questions do you guys want to ask? Any questions you want to ask? Think about them, and then here's the answer.
Shit, I don't know.
All right, no problem. It's okay.
If anybody in the chat got some questions y'all want to ask, come on, ask them questions. Let's get this thing. Let's get this reading, man. Let's get it. Free reading, free reading.
I'm asking, is there any like things holding us back? What is holding us back? The collective, like any collective thoughts that are holding us back?
I think this title that I got up here, BERPS, the business, education, religion,
That's what it's
politics, and
talking about.
science.
All right, got it. I'm at my fifth card, so I'm gonna pull the sixth card. The sixth card is like the belly of the beast, 666 energy. What is this 666 energy?
That's what's permeating through the mainstream business, education, religion, politics, and science.
There you go. You don't even need cards. But all right, so this is what I got, guys.
There we go.
Should I take the filter out or it's okay?
That's good.
All right, so this is the 23. 23 is 5, so that's infinite energy. That's the first card. Is it good to you that we have infinite energy?
Yeah.
And yeah, right? So that represents infinity. That means never ending and always, you know?
That's right.
So
Taurus field.
we get intimacy by uplifting each other, which is in reverse. So these negative organizations are keeping us, the collective, from like helping each other uplift each other, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because we are a change, like we're bringing about change to the 666 energy. We're bringing a change because some of us are gifted and can help more than others. The number of people is representing the one person. It's not representing the whole, if that makes sense. And then
before you go there, because you said that, I want to say this. We do need to do, me personally, we need to do better with uplifting people, because when I talk about how other people knowledge is this way or that way, I kind of do be talking shit. And it's like, I should be able to uplift them and say, well, hey, keep going with the research, but that kind of seems it's off because of this. I need to do better with that.
You know what's happening? The shit talking is like people who have no business doing the shit talking do it. So when you do it, it's like you're the boy who cried wolf, and you're good at doing the shit talking. Like you're supposed to be doing it, but you're being looked at like the boy who cried wolf because other people who have no business shit talking is doing it for you. They don't have no business doing it, but you gotta keep talking your shit, bro. Yeah. So self-love, trust in yourself, and that's upright, because make sure everybody's trusting in themselves so much that they're coming off narcissistic and like a me attitude a lot. So in this conjunction, this is like doing something different that you didn't do before. So you have to keep going. So it could be into completion, 9, inception. So your dreams and everything doesn't get overtaken. So this 666 energy, like the beast energy and the organizations, they have the ability and the resources to incept you from your dreams, completing your dreams, So you got to be careful in, not letting them intercept you from your dreams into completion. Make sure you complete everything that you start. You see how the this is the 9 swirling around, so coming apart from the 888. So that's why I asked, is the 888 is a loop. It comes, do you see how these lines, they come in together to make an 888, but the 9 is like this, and
in Africa
the 9 is like this in a swirl, in a loop, all by it.
And it's like the two hemispheres.
It needs a middle point. Like this is a linear line in the middle. So it needs a middle point to come together to make an infinity. But it's calming to do that. And it's not being the calming is being distracted by sexuality
Fact.
by 6 7. So 7 is spiritual. The spiritual system is keeping the one in you. My phone is dying, so I'm gonna try to get through this.
That's a
But
fact.
the sexuality is and in nostalgia is bringing bad memories and bad dreams and stuff like that, bad dream states, because it's in a loop. The 9
Right.
mother, the mother is in a loop. The divine feminine is in a loop, like, and it's not doing well, so it's in different, or the man. This could be the divine feminine and the divine masculine balance of both. In this is a collective read, so it's divine masculine, divine feminine, both. They're in discomfort, and the soul family is in reverse. So the soul family, the organizations are kind of keeping their soul family resourceful. They don't know how to do it without everyone else. So it explains the Gaion theory and the Hebrew Israelites and all that. I could pull one more card.
Hey, but that's see now. Let me say something because that's deep. That's pretty deep. Basically, they can keep on incepting us into false dreams, false realities, deeper and deeper, by tainting our connection through sexuality,
Yeah.
and that will give us a form of nostalgia when we get so indulged into this form of, you could say, toxic sexuality, toxic spirituality. We
Yeah.
get so indulged in it, it give us a form of nostalgia, and
Yeah.
facts. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, absolutely, because there's the new age system, this new age, they're just drifting off into airhead, like making a new world for themselves. You know how they came up with a new world? We're gonna be drifting off into a new world.
Right.
That's because their head is coming off of this world and going into a new world. So they're making a new planet of their own, and they're doing it with the alphabetical system, and it's a lie, it's an illusion. They're calling it a metaverse.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Thank you. God.
Say the Indian would speak to one another, and the gods would smoke. As it rose high in the sky, the energy would separate, with foreign messages, and picture nature does this with clouds. But see, when we say the Indians would speak to the gods that way, that was them trying to speak to the creator, not realizing the truth of it all. They were trying to send signals. That's like NASA trying to send signals out of space. Is they're trying, but it ain't happening. The truth of it is they're sending signals to each other. Like you said, they would speak to one another. A person would, all right, Human, I see your phone. A person would light a fucking what they call it, a brazier. It'd be a big fire, and you could see it from miles away on top of the mountain. This is ways they would communicate like that. But yeah, it was all it's form of communication and stuff like that. But yeah, nah, communicating with the gods. That listen, there are no gods. There are no gods. It's none of them out there. All the gods are in here. It's just that simple. It's that simple. Now, it's not to be that you're the gods, but it's that you create the idea of what gods are. You do that. Humans do that. They want to know where they came from. So some people create stories of big creators like them that could just make a world. They're theorizing in a spiritual sense, trying to figure out where the soul come from. So they're trying to think of architects, the grand architect of the matrix. This is where you come from. This is why when they say, well, who was the first human? There was no first human. This is why they try to give us evolution, because they know that there's not a time where nothing existed. Technically. But they trying to make a story where it had to transform into this type shit. Nah. We're not trans. We're not trans, y'all. We're not the trans community. Say all of it lead back to aliens. No. Aliens is in here too. Alien is a more modern version of a god. An extraterrestrial is a more modern version of a god. It's ancient. Extraterrestrials are ancient. That's an ancient idea. But that's just another version of saying God. Because when you say it lead back to aliens, that's gonna be the who created the people then. When you say it lead back to aliens, that's where they're gonna say, well, that's who created the humans. That's who created the planet. That's who created the sun and the moon and the outer space. Then that's gonna take you into giants and chimeric beings and reptilianoid shape-shifting and half horse, half man, minotaur, motherfucking underworld likings with vampires, motherfucking mermaids, shadow people, little gnome people, leprechauns with the pointy ears, Santa Claus with the fucking with Santa Claus with the elves, Harry Potter and his motherfucking Griffith, the Gryffindor. That's what it's gonna lead you to. It's gonna lead you to myth land and mythological land.
I'm gonna turn off my camera.
All right. That's what that's gonna lead you. If you think it's gonna lead you back to aliens and eventually you're gonna become a Harry Potter character.
That's hilarious.
Yo, honestly though, but look at it. Some of these niggas done lost their fucking mind thinking that, that they are these characters, that they Goku and Super Saiyan and all kinds of shit. They up here just screaming and they literally lost their fucking minds.
Yo, which character are you guys?
I'm Afro Samurai, nigga. I'm Afro Samurai.
I'm Katana.
I'm Jesus. But the Chinese one. I'm the Chinese Jesus though.
With dreads, nigga.
Yeah.
Yep. But now I want to say
but
something.
What if that land is true? We just don't see it. Now, this is a theory I love to entertain. I would say in my mind, I would say I believe it does exist, just not in this reality. It's like a different reality, dimension or something. Like the Harry Potters, the dragons and shit. I think it does exist in other dimensions or some shit.
Bro,
no, it exists within this dimension too. You just have to be at a certain. Go ahead, my bad.
No, I was just saying it goes back to a singularity, like, when you find yourself, that's